How do allergenic plant life cycles cause seasonal allergies? Imagine walking through a park in spring and suddenly sneezing nonstop. That's because plants are busy releasing tiny pollen particles into the air. These particles are the main cause of seasonal allergies. When plants go through their different stages of life, they produce and spread pollen at specific times. The key stages are seed germination, growth, flowering, pollination, and seed production. The most important for allergies is the flowering and pollination phase. During this time, plants develop male reproductive parts called stamens that produce pollen grains. These grains are tiny, often smaller than the width of a human hair, and contain the male genetic material needed for fertilization. In plants that relying on wind to spread pollen, they releases large amounts of pollen into the air. This airborne pollen can travel hundreds of miles, especially on windy days. When these pollen particles land in the respiratory system of sensitive people, they can cause allergic reactions like sneezing, runny nose, itchy eyes, and congestion. The timing of when plants flower and releases pollen depends on the species and environmental factors such as temperature, sunlight, and weather. For example, trees like hazel, alder, and birch start releasing pollen in early spring, but the exact timing can shift if the weather is warmer or cooler. Warmer temperatures tend to cause plants to bloom earlier and produce more pollen, making allergy seasons longer and more intense. Different plants have different life cycles. Some are annuals that complete their entire life in one year, blooming in spring or summer. Others are perennials that bloom for several weeks each year. These differences cause multiple allergy seasons throughout the year. For example, tree pollen is common in spring, grass pollen peaks in late spring and summer, and weed pollen is more prevalent in late summer and fall. Environmental factors like pollution can make pollen more allergenic. Pollution can change the proteins in pollen grains, making them more likely to trigger stronger allergic reactions. Urban areas with high pollution levels often see worse allergy symptoms. In summary, the life cycles of allergenic plants cause seasonal allergies because they produce and releases pollen during their flowering and pollination stages. The timing and amount of pollen released depend on the plant species and environmental conditions. These cycles create predictable allergy seasons, helping people prepare and manage their symptoms better. Understanding when plants releases pollen can help you plan outdoor activities and reduce exposure during peak times.